life will be worse. Maybe I became a cat or a dog or a reptile or whatever. If you've been a good animal, maybe you move the next level to be a big, maybe raven or a king, who knows. But based on your previous action, your next future will be. They believe in the system of karma, which means action. Good action will lead to good outcome. Bad action will lead to negative outcome. Okay? So the people who believe in Hindu always try to keep in the best conduct ever. They always try to be in the best behavior. They try to avoid crime, they try to avoid mistakes, avoid sin, because they know their action will decide their behavior. Among their beliefs, something called Moska, which is the final salvation. Their final salvation is when their souls at the end unite up with the Brahman, with the universal soul. Now they call saved. So it means as long as they live in earth, they have no salvation. The only salvation, not when they die, because they have another life, but when this finally at the end, this final life end up by uniting with the universal soul. As I said before, they don't have one holy book, but they have many. There are 4 of them are very famous, and they all end with the word Veda. So they have 4 famous Vedas. One is called Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda. Each one of these books has different topic. For example, the Rig Veda is basically about song. The song people sing when they worship God. Or sometimes song when they go to war, or at funeral, or at different occasion. So it's basically like a psalmody. It's like a song book. The next book is called Sama Veda. This another kind of song, but it has either two extremes. It's too sweet or too sorrow. The next one is called Atharva, which basically if you want to place a curse or a love spell on someone, you read to this person. For example, you hate your classmate or you hate your algebra teacher. So you read from this book on him and he'll get cursed. Maybe he'll get a car accident or he fell down, break his leg, doesn't come to the class or skip the test or so on. At the same time also, if you love someone and this person ignoring you, you can read from this book and to get their attention. Yajur Veda basically is about ritual, the way they do things. So again, there is no one book, there is no one book about God himself, because I see here there is no God. We didn't mention any God. We mention universal soul. There is no book about way of salvation. There is no book about repentance. There is no book about spiritual growth. It's just about songs, about rituals, about relationship between humans. The next core belief, which is an interesting idea, is called cyclical time. They believe that life on earth will go into cycle. At the end of the cycle, the life destroyed. Everything gets destroyed. Then a new life starts. And they assume that the cycle will take around 4.32 million years. So every 4.3 million years, the life on earth will end and a new life start. And they have a God for that. God will end the life on earth and he will start the life again. According to their cyclical watch, we actually at the end of the 4th cycle. So this cycle here is like circle within a circle, circle within a circle, 4 circles to cover 4.3 million years. So we are very close to the end of the 4th circle, which means we are close to the end of the life on earth according to the Hindu belief. Any questions so far? Okay. Among their belief also something called Dharma, which is the proper behavior. This instruction to everyone who follows the religion: don't commit bad action, even the smallest one. Don't lie, don't curse, don't steal, don't murder, don't cheat. That's why those people, if they are really religious, they have a very moral conduct, and that help him to achieve good position in the society. Now, as I said before, there is no one God, but there are multiple gods, and every God will do something specific and unique. Sometimes there are overlap between gods. Sometimes there are ancillary God or assistant gods. So the first one is called Lord Brahma. Very close to the first word, Brahman. This is Brahma, without the N. Okay? Who is he? He is this God here in the picture with 4 faces. He is the creator of the universe, so he's looking at 4 directions of the world. Lord Brahma. This is other picture for him. He is one person, but has 4 different faces. You see, all the faces are similar, and all the arms are similar. Another picture for this creator of the universe. The next, which is very interesting, is the preserver and protector of the universe. And that's something very ironic. The first God is only responsible for creation of the universe, but he cannot maintain it. He cannot keep it. And that by itself is a big question mark. How come you create something and you cannot maintain it? Imagine if you buy a car, Ford car, and your car broke down, you go to the dealer, they'll tell you, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix it. Go maybe to Chevy, they're going to fix it to you. Or go to Honda, they're going to fix it for you. But you are the manufacturer. You are the one who made it. Yeah, I made it, but I don't know how to fix it. So in Hindu, there is one God who created but cannot maintain. He needs another God. This God called Vishnu. Vishnu is the one responsible to maintain, preserve, and protect the universe. That by itself tells me none of them is God. Because God has to be responsible for everything. If you are partial God, then you are not God. Of course, Vishnu has helpers. One called Rama and one called Krishna. And everyone will have different tasks. You don't have to know the name, but just get the idea. There is another god called Saraswati. This is the goddess. She is a female goddess because now you have male and female god. This is the goddess of knowledge, of music, speech, wisdom, and learning. And you see, always draw her with something like violin, and she's enjoying her time next to maybe a lake or a pond. So people who would like to know about music, people who want to know about poems, people who would like to explore, to learn things, they have to follow this god, Saraswati. Next, another god is God of love and emotion and feeling, Krishna. God of compassion and tenderness. See the room as a young, handsome man with a flute, and he's singing. Even the animals like to listen to him. Krishna. And there's another famous god called Lakshmi. Okay? Can you tell what kind of god is she from the picture? See a lot of money coming here, okay? A lot of coin, golden coin coming down here. She's the god of wealth and purity. So when you want to be rich, if you want to be wealthy, you have to worship God Lakshmi. A very common name, by the way, among the Indian population, Lakshmi. This now considered the most important God, most important than the creator or the protector of the universe. This is called God Shiva. God Shiva is a god of destruction. So be aware of him. They draw him here as a peaceful man, okay? But he has this kind of a snake around him. He always open his hand and have some writing on it, and has this closed eye in his forehead. And has a meaning. If this closed eye, the forehead, it means this is a time of peace. The problem happen if you face this God in your way and this eye is open. That means there is a lot of destruction going to come your way. A fire may come your way. And he's a god of destruction of the world. Shiva. I consider Shiva the most important because the one who's going to end the life on earth. He's a god of destruction. But again, Shiva is not all harmful. He's also have some romantic aspects. So sometimes you draw him riding his horse along the beach. Shiva has a family, and the family are gods as well. So his wife basically is called Parvati, and he has 2 sons. And you see here one of them has a face like an elephant, and it has a story behind it. So the first son is called Karateka, this is the one here, this is a god of war. I said he is a god of destruction, his son god of war. The others are called Ganesha. He's a god of good fortune, success, art, and science. And if you have faced any obstacle in your life, if you have problem with your school, problem with your work, you have to call on this god, God Ganesha. So what's the story of Ganesha? Why he has an elephant head? According to the Hindu belief that he did something terrible when he was young. His father came back, get mad at him. So instead of like slapping him in the wrist or punish him, he slashed out his head. Chop his head off. Then he went crying to his mom, and his mom is a goddess. So the mom went back to the father, begging him to restore his life. So instead, putting back his life, because he's punished, he got an elephant head and stuck it to his body. So now we have this Ganesha, God with a head of elephant. Okay? But he's well respected among the Hindu people. This is Shiva, because according to their claim, before the destruction of the world, he will have a final dance. And after the final dance that he will make, he will cast out huge fire from this open eye in the forehead, and this fire will destroy the entire world. Okay? In terms of worshiping place, the Hindu have two places to worship. One could be a temple, when people go worship in public as a group, or they can worship at home. So a lot of them has this kind of iconic or a small altar at home. This is called puja. When they have these idols or this statue and they worship their gods at home. The Hindu, interestingly, in the society, they classify society into 4 different levels. Okay. So far, any questions about the gods in Hindu? Okay. Now, they believe there are 4 different levels of society, which kind of like segmental classification of your own people. It's not everyone is the same. It's not everyone is equal. The very bottom level is called the Shurda. Shurda basically are the unskilled laborers. Those people who work maybe in a fast food place, work in factories, work in the farms, very level skill, very low level of skill. Then they have a higher level, what's called the Visha. And those are the skilled producer. Those may be the technician who do the ultrasound, who do the x-ray, who run the machine. Those are a little bit step up because they are the skilled labor. The next level is called Kshetra. And those basically the protector and the public servant. Those include the police, the army, the tax accountant, the teacher. Those are like the main bulk of the educated society. Then they have the highest level of people called Barhimen. Those are the intellectual and the spiritual leader. So those are the engineers, the lawyer, the physician, the politician, the lawmakers, the scientists. Those are the top of the pyramid. So I see now it's kind of segmental. I don't want to use the term discrimination, but I use their different level of society. Of course, we cannot talk about the Hindus without mentioning something about Mahatma Gandhi. I'm sure you're all familiar with him, or at least heard of him. So Mahatma Gandhi was born in October 1869. Okay, that's the 19th century. And he died in 1948. He was a very educated man. He's a very respectable, very peaceful man. He was an Indian Hindu lawyer, political leader at the same time. At that time, the British forces invaded India, and they actually abused all the resources of India. Like the cotton, like England is very famous for the textile. Need some nice suit, it's English made. Where they got it? From the cotton and the cashmere and the wool from India. The England government has a lot of gold. Where they got it? From the India resources. So basically, England abused all the resources of India. And the people in India tried to rebel more than one time. We were not successful. until Mahatma Gandhi came and started to lead a peaceful revolution against the British occupying. So basically he said, we're not going to rebel by force, we're not going to carry arm, but in the contrary, we're going to make a boycott. We're going to stop dealing with them. We're going to stop buying their product. We're going to start buying their clothes, their food products, their textile, their glassware, whatever the British bring to our country, we're not going to use it until they broke down and they leave. And believe it or not, this way was very successful, more than carrying arms and fighting with sword and guns. So he was very successful. Of course, along the years that he lived, he has a lot of interaction with the British authorities. And he learned from them about Christianity. And he studied Christianity. Interestingly, he said, I love your Christ. I love that Christ. I love the Christ who take care of the hungry. That Christ who take care of the poor people. Of the Christ who wanna forgive the sin. I like the Christ who wanna give himself as ransom to save others. I love Christ who try to build the people. I like Christ who are very peaceful. I like Christ who preach about loving the other. I like that Christ. I love him. But you, as Christian, I hate you. Because you are not Christian in true meaning. You are Christian abusing my country, abusing my resource, enslave my people, stealing our wealth. So that was a very famous, common statement he made. I love your Christ, but I hate your Christianity. Okay? And that can be actually as a warning sign to all of us. Sometimes people look at us, they don't see Christ. Christ, the peaceful, the loving, the careful, the forgiving, should be projected in our life. If we don't portray Jesus in our life, people will be acting like Mahatma. We love Christ, but we don't love Christianity as a religion. That basically was a summation of the Hindu beliefs. Before I talk a little bit as a summarization, just I want your idea. What you think of the Hindu belief? What's good about it? And what things that we take against it? What's good about it? No, just now, before the question. What's good about it? Okay, good, that's good. All right, that's a good point. Okay, what else? The what? I can't hear. Good morals, very good. They have good morals, exactly. Okay, very good. Okay, what else? Peaceful people, right? That's right. Very peaceful people. So they are peaceful people. They have good moral conduct. They have good behavior. And as we see here, they don't carry arms to make their case known or public. Okay, lately they start to have some friction between all kind of societies or kind of congregation in India. Among them were the Hindus, that's true. But originally, they were not violent. They were very peaceful. Okay. Anything else you like about the Hindu religion? Okay. Now, what you don't like about it, or what you take against? Okay, that's true. Hierarchical system, which means it's not everyone at the same level. And keep in mind, there is no flexibility in the system. Like, cannot move up or down in the system. You are in one strata, one level, you're going to be there forever until you die. Okay, what else do you don't like about it? Too many gods. Make things confusing, that's number one. Another thing, that basically there is no one God. If there are so many gods, they can be partner. But the word God has to mean the high, the mighty power. Nobody equal or close to him. Anything else? But karma, on the other hand, is a good works. I mean, good works will follow you. We believe in that. Yeah, if you do good work, they will follow you after death. They believe in transmigration of souls, that your soul move from your body to another body. Okay? Now let's go back, see what we see as a negative image about the Hindu religion. First of all, they don't believe in one God. Okay? All the heavenly religion believe in one God. And that's what we have in the creed. Yes, we believe in one God. They don't have this one God. Second, they don't believe in the final judgment. They don't believe that at one point you're gonna stand up before God to judge you. What did you good or bad? They don't believe in heaven or in hell. They avoid eternal torture of sinners. Okay? They believe God, good deeds in its own will be enough for your salvation. So basically there is no need for a savior. There is no need for sacrament. You just make good deeds. Does not acknowledge sin as a source of the human misery. We basically become suffering in earth because of Adam and Eve's sin. Now, if there is sin there, there has to be misery. Good deeds cannot take away your misery as a human being. As you said, they classify the society or the world into 4 different levels. They don't have one holy book. They have 4 different books, but none of them will reach you up to one God. They basically, for you to live a good life. They don't believe in the Old Testament prophets. They don't know anything about Moses or Abraham or Elijah or Daniel. They don't produce saints. They don't produce any saint. There is no saint. There is the one who make miracle. Came out from the Hindu religion. They believe God can marry and make children gods. Something will completely stand against. God will never marry because God basically doesn't have a flesh. God doesn't have a sex, male or female God. There is nothing like this in Christianity. Okay? And finally, they believe in incarnation, as she mentioned, but in a way that your soul is moved on from one life to another life until finally you end up with the universal soul. Okay, I think that will conclude our talk for today about Hinduism. It's a religion. There are so many people, millions of people follow this religion in the Middle East, in the Far East, and in the Western world as well. Okay, and so you know what's exactly right and what's wrong about it. Now, any question about it?